Aloha everyone, this is Momi at Kilauea Kreations 2, and if you're watching this, you have already participated in or are participating in our Big Island 2018 quilt shop hop. And what I have to share with you today is our shop hop blocks and how to do them. It's a stained glass technique that I think you'll enjoy once you learn how to do it. Very simple, very easy, and a lot of creativity with it. So join me today as we walk through the process of how to do our Big Island quilt shop hop blocks. Alright, before we get started, let's lay out a few things so you're ready to get going. First, you're going to get each one of your kits or patterns from the shop, from each shop, and it's inside. It's going to have your paper pattern, it's going to have a black piece of fabric, and then it's going to have all your complementary fabrics. So what you're going to do first is you're just going to take out that pattern and your black fabric, and you're going to take this and you're going to set it on the side for now. Alright? And then you want to get your transfer paper of choice. We are using Pacific Rim Quilting's transfer paper. I like it because it's a big piece. It's an 18 by 24 inch, so it covers my entire sheet without having to move it around. But if you have smaller sheets, use that. Use what you got. Alright? So right now we have our transfer paper, we have our black fabric, we have our pattern from each shop. The last piece you're going to get is a piece of steam seam. You can buy about a half yard. It's 18 inches by 22, and that's going to cover your entire piece. If the shop has an 18-inch wide, just get a half yard. That would be sufficient as well. But the only thing that I find, this is some tips with our steam seam, is that here in Hawaii it's so humid that most sticky things come apart. But really you want these two pieces to be stuck. You don't want them coming apart like that. So what I would suggest, and the wonderful thing about steam seam is that you can hit it with the iron many times and it'll always have it stick. So before you get started, take that piece of steam seam to your iron. So here we go. All steamed together and I have it pretty stuck on there. Alright, so next we are going to layer all of our components just like I tell you, okay, because this part's important. It's going to do multiple things. We're going to trace our pattern onto our black fabric and we're going to create our pattern piece on our steam seam. So walk with me through this. First, get your black fabric, lay it down flat. If you want, you can go ahead and tape this piece down first. Next, you're going to get your transfer paper and you're going to layer it right over your black fabric. Alright? Next, you're going to take your pattern piece from the shop that you are working on and you're going to put it on top of your black fabric. You can center it as best as possible. And then next, you're going to take your steam seam. This part's important that you trace it on the correct side. You are going to place the gridded side of your steam seam facing your pattern. Okay, so you have the side without the grid facing you. Alright, so now that I have everything just how I want it, I'm going to take tape and I'm going to tape it. Alright, so next I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to trace the outer layer of my pattern. There's a black line on two sides and the other two sides don't have lines. You're going to just follow the edge of your paper, okay? And the other thing you're going to want to use is a ballpoint pen, okay? The other pens will rip your steam seam, so you want to make sure it's a ballpoint pen. Alright, so trace the outer edge of your pattern. Really press hard so that it transfers all the way through to your black fabric, okay? And it's important that you start with the outside edge of your pattern to give you a guideline. To work from. Alright, so now I've traced the entire outside of my pattern, and I'm gonna just peel up the tape. I want to double check that it is transferring correctly to my black fabric, and voila, there it is. So I know I'm pushing in hard enough that it's transferring, so I want to keep going with that same intensity that I'm tracing with. And just go ahead and start tracing all the lines. Don't miss any lines because each line is important, alright? Kind of go over the lines several times if you need to. Alright guys, so we have finished tracing our entire image onto our steam seam, transferring it through to our black fabric, and now I'm going to undo the layers. I have actually traced a whole nother pattern. I've moved on to the next one, so bear with me. It's all with the same shop hop blocks, but just another shops, okay? So I'm going to take off the tape, and then I'm going to take my steam seam off. And I'm going to take my pattern and I'm going to set it on the side. I'm going to take my steam seam, also going to set it on the side because we won't need these guys anymore. And there you go. We have our image on our black fabric, and then we have it on our steam seam as well. And so now we're ready to get to the fun part, where we start cutting the fabric and putting it in place and making it look beautiful. So now you want to go ahead and you want to grab the Correlating Shops fabric pack, and each shop has made it very easy where they've written down for you what fabrics go where and what it is. So you want to take that out. This is going to be your guide, okay, your friendly guide. So you want to put that on the side, and then you want to go ahead and take out your fabrics. You can do several things with these. You can go ahead and with an air erasable pen or a water soluble pen and mark in a corner with a number that correlates with your pattern what each fabric is, or you can try to keep them in order while you cut, just to make it easier along the process so you don't get things all confused. But most of the fabric descriptions are there, so kind of help you out. The other thing you want to get is a nice pair of sharp scissors. I've come to love Karen Buckley's scissors. They're really nice. They're actually serrated in the inside, but just makes it nice for this project. The point is has a nice point on it, so I can get small corners and points. Alright, so just to kind of make everything make sense, I know I'm going to start in this top corner here. Forgive my lines here. I was trying to be frugal and save my steam seam, so I double dipped. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is each shop is kind of breaking up their fabric separately, but it's all in order of how they've put it on their paper. So I'm just going to break this up so it's easier for me. In the beginning, the first three fabrics, it says that they're a part of the lava rock, so I'm going to just separate that. The next three is my hot lava, so I'm just going to separate that. And ocean water, it looks like it's all of these. And then this cute little packet says sky, so I'm going to set those aside. So I'm going to now go back to my steam seam. I know I'm going to cut out this piece here, and my pattern says sky 1. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up. And it says light blue, which is a 10 by 2 piece, just to confirm. So great, I think it's that piece. Now the fun part, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this piece out. Alright, so now I have it cut. I'm going to throw this away. And so now I'm going to separate my layers. The paper that with my drawing that didn't have a grid on it, I'm going to also throw it. Okay? you want to make sure that the steam seam is on top of your gridded side. Sometimes, just because it's humid, the sticky will come out on this side. Make sure that you transfer the webbing back to the gridded side, okay? It's very important. So you want the sticky on the grid side, okay? So now I'm going to lay it on top of my fabric. Alright, so now I'm going to put my steam seam to the side, and I got this on there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this piece out. You're going to cut like about 1/8 or 1/16 to 1/8 off of your pattern piece. And sometimes I found, especially again, we're going back to living in Hawaii with its lovely humidity, this paper tends to come off. And if it's easier for you, you can just remove it. And I don't know if you can see it, but the fusible webbing is right there. So I'm just going to follow my webbing. It might be kind of harder with the lighter fabrics. Okay, so now I have it all cut out, and I can go ahead and throw this piece away. And I'm gonna now look for that spot on my black fabric where I was supposed to put it. And it goes in this top corner. So I have my transferred lines to follow. Now I can go to my second piece, which is here. And then on my pattern here, it says Lava Rock 1. So I'm going to look for my Lava Rock 1 fabric, which is this guy. And I'm gonna open him up. I'm gonna cut this out, and I'm gonna paste it on my fabric and put it on my black fabric, and just keep going. You don't have to iron anything until you're completely finished and you like it how it is. You can go ahead and trim lines if you want, but after you have it all done and completed, and then you'll have your finished product. And we're going to show you how to accomplish. Alright, are participating in our shop. Pick that in, shop pop 2018. That's the one. Dang it. In our shop pop, or you are going. Dang it, that's not what I meant to say. You are. Alright, did you start?
Yeah, I started now. Okay.
Before we get started on the process.
Wait.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna start again. Are you already recording? You're just recording all of this, so we just really hard as I can. And this pen is not working. My pen's not working. Makeup.
Here, makeup.